The GoPro 11 is out and it is pretty disappointing. I've been absolutely ripping the GoPro 11 on the FPV quad, even though I just recently lost my GoPro 10, but here's another one I bought. And there's been a bunch of videos on GoPro 10 vs 11, but we're going to get into the straight hard facts right now, starting with the bad. So first and foremost, with the GoPro 11, unfortunately, the image quality has really not changed all the way since the GoPro 8. I don't know how many years it has been, but the truth is the footage looks extremely similar all the way from GoPro 8. The only thing that's realistically changed is the different frame rates you can record at. If you don't believe me, here are a bunch of clips shot by GoPros 8, 10, and 11. You probably can't tell, but if you're a subscriber, you probably know when I shot what. But on that topic, you might be wondering, the GoPro 11 has 10-bit color. That's such a revolutionary update. Unfortunately, it's kind of a bit of a marketing scheme, and it doesn't actually add much to our videos at all. Let me show you an example of GoPro 10 versus GoPro 11. I'll put a grade on all of them. Let me know if you can tell a difference in color. All the influences and whatnot say you can push it a little bit more in post, but tell me if you can actually see a difference or not. While I show you all these examples, let's quickly talk about why it doesn't actually matter. Long story short, 10-bit means you have more color information in your video clips, and the main use for a 10-bit is when you have log footage, which is really flat and desaturated like what I'm shooting on right now. And in very layman terms, once you take that really flat clip and you turn it back to a normal exposure, which has a ton of contrast everywhere, you need more color information so you don't have weird types of bands because there's not enough color information, or different artifacts, which doesn't look very pleasing. So as a bit of a summary, until GoPro introduces a bit of a log profile, which will actually give us more dynamic range utilizing the 10 bits, then we will finally have a use for this 10 bits. But the truth is you can only shoot on flat as you would do normally, and therefore you really don't reap any benefits of 10 bits. There are some examples if you really push the GoPro clips to some demonic states and it looks horrible, then you can see some banding, or if you lift the shadows up to like ridiculous amounts, which you would never do because the image falls apart, not due to the color, due to the poor sensor, the tiny sensor in this camera, then you can see some differences. But if you don't understand anything I said, long story short, GoPro are not actually utilizing 10 bits to its full capability by not giving us a log profile and ultimately not giving us true increased dynamic range, and it's basically a marketing tool. That being said, however, comparing to the GoPro 10, there may be a slight increase in dynamic range. Really, it's hard to tell. You can see in some of these clips, the shade of my skin in the shadow is slightly brighter than the GoPro 10. When I was comparing the two clips, I honestly got confused time and time again which clip was actually shot from which GoPro. So that can tell you already it's really marginal. Now, addressing some other quick facets of the GoPro, the stabilization unfortunately hasn't really been improved at all, even though you have that taller sensor. It has been improved with the boost mode. It doesn't crop in as much, but who actually uses that boost mode anyway? I feel like 99% of the population probably just use the normal hyper smooth because they don't want to lose so much quality. The 11 also allows you to have full horizon lock for 360 without the lens mod, which is cool and all, and the hyper view is almost unusable because it's so much warping. If you have anything not in the center of the frame, it will look ridiculous. And basically 4 years into running, the low light on this is still crap. It might be marginally better than the GoPro 10, but this is me filming at a little bit past sunset. The sun had gone down probably like 1 minute before the sun has gone down, and you can already see ISO 400. It's noisy, it's not great. Going over 400 is basically the max ISO it can handle. Alright, so I mentioned a lot of negative things about the GoPro 11, which is mainly coming from a standpoint where you need to upgrade from the GoPro 10 to 11. But that being said, the GoPro 11 is still the best action camera out now. And in terms of the best action camera, I'm referring to what can produce the best image quality. It has the best frame rates offered by any action camera in terms of 4K 120, 5.3K, ridiculous 8x7 formats, and 5.3K, which we'll mention later. And you might be wondering, DJI Action 3, what about that? And the sad truth is that it doesn't have enough dynamic range. Watch Potato Jet's video. Everyone prefers the GoPro look except for a few distinct scenarios, but the GoPro 11 is still the best, so just keep that in mind. Now, the overwhelming positive point of the GoPro 11, and maybe its only main positive point, is the 8x7 sensor. I'm someone who really goes hard on the Instagram Reels, on the TikToks, and vertical video is arguably the future. So using this bad boy, getting so much more vertical resolution, you can just fly it horizontally, use it horizontally, and then you can have vertical and horizontal at the same time, which saves me so much hassle. Honestly, I wish my Sony could film at least 4x3 so I could get more height and I could potentially crop my videos more easily instead of filming everything twice. But as you can imagine, filming both vertically and horizontally at once is truly a game changer. Here's a quick example of how much more real estate you get with vertical and horizontal video. And if you're FPV pilot, normally you film 4x3 to get 16:9 video. But long story short, you can get similar types of gains in vertical resolution when you put it in real steady or gyro flow. Another quick benefit of having this taller sensor is even if you're shooting it horizontal, you can reframe your shot up and down. There's some times where I'm angled too fast on FPV drone, or maybe just messed up your framing. Just have that flexibility to frame high or lower in case you screw up a shot. Now there is a slight caveat to that, and the reason why I still say this is overall a disappointing upgrade is you probably got to be someone like me, maybe 1%, less than 1% of the population, to use so much vertical video. I'm posting like 3 times a week on Reels, 3 times on TikTok. You should follow me there. I post some absolute bangers. But if you're not someone like me who really goes hardcore on the vertical video, there really isn't much point for you to upgrade. That's because the GoPro 10 could already film 4x3 5.3K, and although it's not as tall as the brand new tall sensor, you can still get some decent video from there, just cropping in. It's also a bit sad that TikTok and Instagram really compress your vertical videos, so it really may be hard to tell if you're even using a GoPro 11 or a 10. I didn't really tell my followers which camera I was using, and people are still second guessing. Did I use 11? Did I use a 10? So is it really that noticeable? If you pixel peep, you can definitely tell, but if you're just looking at a glance like what you are doing on TikTok and Instagram anyway, looking for like 10 seconds, you probably won't be able to tell. So I believe unless you're really hardcore on the TikToks and Reels and the vertical video, you should definitely buy the GoPro 11. Otherwise, there's really not that much point in buying this brand new GoPro because the upgrade is truly disappointing. There's really not that much in it. So if you have a 10, I really wouldn't upgrade. If you have a 9 or 8 or anything below that, you probably can justify an upgrade because like I said, the GoPro 11 is still the best action camera to date. And if you're choosing between the 11 or the 10, I would honestly just buy a 10 secondhand. If you're not into secondhand, there's nothing wrong with buying the GoPro 11. And just one more thing, the new Enduro battery, supposedly better battery life. I don't notice that much of an increase, but it is definitely better, so that's a bonus, I guess. So I mentioned in the video before, and in this video, there's really not that many positives. Why did I buy it? Like I mentioned, I go extremely hard on the vertical video, so I really do appreciate this. And when they first released this quad in different countries, in US I think it's been the same, but in Australia this was $650 plus $25 shipping, which why on earth is a $650 product not have free shipping? And then 2 weeks later they included this for $630 free shipping with the accessory bundle, which is then when I finally justified the price and how much I love vertical video to buy the GoPro 11. I don't know if the GoPro didn't sell well enough or they just did some slimy tactic, but that's one thing to keep in mind. The price has gone down considerably in 2 weeks. Alright, so that is basically it. The GoPro 11 is still the best action camera. There's just not much of an upgrade to the GoPro 10, but if you do end up buying it, you cannot go wrong. I hope the GoPro fanboys do not flame me because, again, it is still the best action camera in terms of image quality. In terms of usability, it still overheats. It's not as reliable as the DJI Osmo Action 3. So if you really want something that will always work, never corrupt your files and have all these GoPro-ish issues, then that is a camera you should buy. I added a few clips of insane shots I got with the GoPro 11 on a recent trip. So if you're not subscribed, you should subscribe and I will drop that video soon. But if you got anything from the video, leave a like, sub, and I'll catch you in the next one.